Hello, friends. From today, I'm starting a series of 100 previous year topics. Okay, and in this series, I'm starting up with general virology, some important things about the viruses and their classification and general structure and properties. All right, so let's start. Okay, so let's talk about the viruses and their general structure and their properties. Okay. Now, first of all, we have the structure of the virus. What do we see here is, now, there are certain viruses which are enveloped and the others are non-enveloped. Okay. So what is this envelope made up of? This envelope is made up of basically envelope protein. And one of the major example, envelope proteins का एक सबसे बड़ा example जो आप समझ सकते हैं, that is your COVID-19 virus. Okay. It has spike proteins on its surface. Everybody is aware of it. Okay. After the envelope protein, we have a viral genome. Okay, virus has a genome in the center and it is surrounded by a nucleocapsid. It is surrounded by a nucleocapsid which is called as covering. Okay, एक nucleic acid की बनी हुई covering होती है around the genome. Okay, which could be a DNA, which could be a RNA. And in between the viral genome and the envelope, what we have is we have viral teguments. Okay, this is the viral tegument which surrounds the virus from all around. So we have the envelope, we have the viral genome, we have the nucleocapsid, and we have the viral tegument. Okay, so now let's see some of the examples of the enveloped and non-enveloped proteins. One of the major example, as I already told you, that is the COVID-19 virus, which has spike proteins on its surface. And then we have the non-enveloped one. In the DNA viruses, we have example as parvovirus, adenovirus, papovavirus. And in RNA viruses, we have picornavirus, astrovirus, reovirus, hep A and hep E. Okay, now coming on to the list of the DNA viruses. Now, when we read about the DNA viruses, it is very difficult to recall each and every DNA virus by its name. Okay, so we can learn it through a mnemonic, which is basically a happy face. Okay, now we have just extended the alphabets of happy, making us much more happy. Okay, so let's through it. Now the first H stands for hepatitis B virus, then another H for the herpes virus, then adenovirus, then pox. First P stands for the pox viridae family. Second stands for the Papovaviridae family, which has the HPV, polyomas, and all the other small viruses. Then another P for Parvoviridae virus, which has the parvovirus. And lastly, by means of P and Y, we have formed bacteriophage. Okay, we're going to read about it later. Then, moving further, rest all the other viruses fall into the category of the RNA viruses. We have Picornaviridae, Paramyxoviridae, Calciviridae, Togaviridae, Orthomyxovirus, Bunyavirus, Flaviviridae, Arenaviridae, Rhabdoviridae, Retroviridae. Okay, there are many more, and so it's basically easier to remember the viruses which are DNA viruses rather than remembering the complete list of RNA viruses. Okay, now next in the series we have this classification on the basis of the size of the viruses. Largest virus is the pox virus, which is 300 nanometers, and the smallest virus is parvovirus, which is 20 nanometers. Okay, and the largest genome. Now, remember this thing, we are talking about the largest genome and not the largest virus. Okay, largest genome means the RNA or DNA which has the largest genome. Okay, now that way is HIV virus has the largest genome and the smallest genome belongs to the hepatitis D virus, and hepatitis D is always associated with hepatitis B. So in the series of the smallest genome, we have the hepatitis B virus, hepatitis D followed by the hepatitis B virus. Then now, this is very interesting. We're going to talk about the shape and the structure of the viruses. Okay, I'm going to show you I'm going to show their structure. And first of all, I'm going to tell about each of these, and then I'm going to show you the structure of each one of these. Okay, First of all, we have the rabies virus. Now, rabies virus, if we see rabies, rabies का infection जो होता है वो 100% fertility rate होता है उसका. So it's basically like a bullet. Okay, एक बुलेट की तरह होता है जो कि 100% फेटल ही होगा अगर आपको लगेगी तो. ओके, सो रेबीज के लिए हम उसका स्ट्रक्चर रिमेंबर कर सकते हैं बाय मींस ऑफ इट्स बुलेट शेप्ड. कमिंग ऑन टू द पॉक्स वायरस. नाउ पॉक्स वायरस is like a box. Okay, you have a dumbbell in a box. It's like that. Sorry for the bad drawing. Okay, then we have the Ebola virus. Ebola virus, how can you remember? Bola, that is a bowl of spaghetti. This is how you can remember. And spaghetti is filamentous. Okay, so it's filament shaped. Then is tobacco mosaic virus. Tobacco virus is like your rod shaped, your cigarettes. Okay, so those are your tobacco mosaic viruses. They are rod shaped. Then is adenovirus. Now adenovirus is basically adeno. It's something a space vehicle. Okay, so it would be like a spaceship. You will look about it in the next structure. Okay, uska picture hai, you can look about it in the next slide. It's something like this. Okay, then coming on to the coronavirus, it has petal shaped peplomers. You must remember this, that it has petal shaped peplomers which are like this. This is the, okay, it has these petals around it. Okay, so these are petal shaped peplomers. Then is the rotavirus. Now rotavirus की shape को remember करने के लिए you can recall आप WHO की और UNICEF की अगर कोई ads देखो ना about the diarrhea and where they are basically making you aware about the diarrhea and the lives lost because of it every year, you will remember कि उसमें वो एक छोटा बच्चा दिखाते हैं, a छोटा बच्चा, रोता हुआ बच्चा जो कि who is crying and playing with a wheel. Okay, टायर के साथ खेल रहा होता है, तो उससे you can remember a rotavirus, a wheel shaped virus. Okay, then coming on to astrovirus. Astrovirus से आप star से याद कर सकते हो. It's a star shaped virus. Okay, sorry for the horrible pictures. Then now here you can basically very well see this. Now this is the your bullet shaped rabies virus. Okay, then your pox virus. Let me just write here. This is the rabies virus. This is the pox virus. And then you have the Ebola, which is your filamentous. This is the filamentous one. Then you have the tobacco mosaic virus, which is this one, which has this rod shaped structures. Then is your adenovirus, which is like a spaceship. Here you can see this. And then you have the rotavirus. Rotavirus is this one. Okay, this one is your rotavirus, which is wheel shaped. Okay, this one is your rotavirus. Then is your astrovirus. Okay, then coming on to which one is left? This one. This one is your coronavirus, which has petal shaped peplomers around it. And this is the same one. Okay, so these are the all viruses. Then coming on to the DNA viruses. Now, as a general rule, all the DNA viruses are double-stranded DNA. They have double-stranded DNA, okay, except for parvovirus, which has single-stranded DNA. Now, how you can remember this? We can remember it by means of this thing, Paro. We all know about Paro, Devdas. Okay, now in that movie, अगर आप याद करो तो at the end of the movie, Paro is left all alone. Okay, ना वो देवदास के साथ है ना अपने हस्बैंड के साथ है. I cannot remember the whole complete story, but Paro is left single at the end of the movie. Okay, so इससे हम याद कर सकते हैं that parvovirus is single stranded DNA. Okay, it is single stranded DNA. And when she's sad, उसका mouth face जो है वो इतना छोटा सा हो जाता है. That is, it's the smallest virus. Okay, 20 nanometers का ये virus होता है. And she's crying and crying because she's crying, तो उसकी वजह से उसका फेस जो है वो बहुत रेड हो गया है. She has a slapped cheek appearance. Okay, so this is what we have about the parvovirus. And another information to add to it is Hep B, hepatitis B virus is also partially double-stranded DNA virus. Okay, then coming on to RNA viruses. Now RNA viruses का जो rule है वो थोड़ा सा और interesting है. सभी RNA viruses जो होते हैं, सभी RNA viruses जो हैं उनमें सिर्फ they have a single copy and they are single stranded RNA and they are unsegmented, but there are many exceptions to this. Okay, for example, if we talk about retrovirus, it has 2 copies. If we talk about rotavirus, it is double stranded and not single stranded. And if we talk about unsegmentation, most of the RNA viruses are unsegmented except for this BRA group. Okay, what is this BRA group? Now BRA को आप recall कर सकते हो, it's a famous brand for the alcoholic drinks. Okay, तो उससे हमने एक mnemonic बनाया है where you can remember B stands for bunya, which has, now this B is like 3. Okay, तो उससे हम recall कर सकते हैं that it has 3 segments. Then is influenza virus, which is the orthomyxovirus. Ortho means 8, that it has 8 segments. Then next in the list we have R, which is the rotavirus. Now rotavirus is the one which has 3 plus 8. We have 11 segments. And lastly we have the arenavirus, which has 2 segments. Understood? Okay. And next we have, now अभी तक हमने if you could recall your microbiology from the first year, second years, you can recall कि हम बैक्टीरियाज को फंगाइज को हमने इनको कल्चर किया था. Okay, on various other medias. But these viruses cannot be cultured. They cannot be grown up on the culture medias. So what do we have? We have, now since these viruses are intracellular organisms, we cannot culture them on the media. तो इसके लिए हम cell lines जो हैं वो prepare करते हैं. Now what are these cell lines? There are certain primary cell lines, secondary cell lines and continuous cell lines. Primary cell lines आप कैसे याद कर सकते हो? Now they are the ones जिनके अंदर they can undergo 5 to 10 divisions. Secondary are the ones which can undergo 10 to 50 divisions, and then continuous divisions वाला होता है continuous cell lines. Now how can you remember the primary cell lines? Primary cell lines को आप इस तरीके से याद कर सकते हो that when we were embryo, we were primates, तो उस condition पे आपसे जो words आप recall कर सकते हो ना, like the rhesus and the human amniotic cells, chick embryo. So they all come under the primary cell lines. So we have rhesus kidney cell lines, we have the human amniotic cell line, we have chick embryo fibroblast. Then coming under the secondary cell lines, we have the human fibroblast cell lines, in which we have CMV, MRC5, W138. And lastly, the continuous cell line, which has HeLa, Hep2KB, McCoy, Vero, Deltroid 6, BHK, Chang C1LK. Okay, they all come under this thing. Then lastly we have inclusion bodies. Okay, now what do you understand from the cytopathic effect? Now जब भी एक virus, this is basically seen on the light microscopy, जब भी एक virus एक सेल के अंदर एंटर करता है ना, तो कुछ चेंजेस होते हैं सेल में. तो वो जो मॉर्फोलॉजिक चेंजेस होते हैं उन्हें हम साइटोपैथिक इफेक्ट कहते हैं. नाउ इसका बहुत कॉमन एग्जांपल जो है वो है अपीयरेंस ऑफ इंक्लूजन बॉडीज. नाउ दीज इंक्लूजन बॉडीज दे कैन अपीयर इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियर and at that time they're called as internuclear inclusion bodies, and they can appear in the cytoplasm as well, and at that time they're called as intracytoplasmic inclusion bodies. Okay, so let's go through them one by one. First of all, we have the intracytoplasmic inclusion bodies, and these are the examples of it. Now in the intracytoplasmic, first example is your Negri bodies, which are seen in rabies virus, in the cerebellum and hippocampus. These are intracytoplasmic. Remember this. Then are the Passion bodies, which are found in variola. Guarneri bodies, which are found in vaccinia. You can remember it by, now if you see here vaccinia, if you write it like this, you can make C को हम G बना सकते हैं. Okay, so this is how you can remember. Vaccinia में Guarneri bodies. Then is Bollinger bodies, bowled. Okay, so you can remember it by foul. Then is your Henderson Patterson bodies. Now these are most important. They are found in Molluscum contagiosum. Okay. Now these are the HB bodies. They are Henderson Patterson bodies which are found in Mollusca. And now do not confuse them with the Halbersteder Proweski bodies which are found in trachoma or the chlamydial infections. Do not. Okay. Then coming on to the intranuclear inclusion bodies. Now intranuclear inclusion bodies are type A and type B. In the type A, we have the Taris bodies which are found in yellow fever and Lipskew's herpes. And then is cowardly type B viruses, inclusion bodies which are adenovirus and the poliovirus. Okay, now one of the most important slide is this one where we have both intracytoplasmic and intranuclear inclusion bodies are seen. Now, the two major examples for this is cytomegalovirus and the measles virus. Cytomegalovirus has this owl-shaped intracytoplasmic and intranuclear inclusion bodies, and the other one is measles, which has Warthin-Fickenley bodies. All right. So